as humans, often feel stretched thin just trying to juggle 3 or 4 tasks. We say, I wish I had more hands. In mythology, the gods actually do. But the fascination is not because we literally want extra limbs, it's because deep down, we know that in leadership, in life, in relationships, we need the ability to handle multiple demands at once. The image of many hands sparks something primal in us, the desire to be capable, prepared, and adaptive. So here's the question, are these extra hands just an artistic exaggeration, something sculptors imagine to make deities look grand? Or is there a deeper, timeless leadership lesson hiding in plain sight? When we see Vishnu holding the Sudarshan Chakra and the lotus, or Durga holding weapons and flowers together, are we just seeing religion? Or are we seeing the science of leadership expressed through art?
The truth is, multiple hands are a visual language. They are saying, a complete leader must be multidimensional. You must be able to protect your people, create new opportunities, nurture growth, destroy negativity, and maintain harmony, often all in the same week, sometimes in the same day. The many hands are not about physical power, they are about functional power. I will talk about the gods and goddesses as distant figures in temples. I will talk about them as models of human excellence. I will show you how the concept of multiple hands applies in your career, your family, your friendships, your use of technology, your leadership in society, and your ability to operate from the local to the global stage. By the end, you will see how you can grow your own extra hands, not physically, but in skills, awareness, and adaptability.
In Indian philosophy, every symbol is layered. A hand is not just a limb, it's a metaphor for ability and action. A deity with many hands is simply a visual way to say, this being has many capabilities. They are not confined to one skill or one approach. This is why Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, often holds a veena, scriptures, and a rosary, each hand representing a different dimension of wisdom. Weapons or objects as symbols. Let's break down some common objects in these hands and decode the leadership lessons they carry. Sword. The sword represents decisive action. In leadership, this is your ability to make a clear choice when there's confusion. To cut through unnecessary delays and say, we go this way. Lotus. A lotus blooms in muddy water, untouched by the dirt. This is purity of intention amidst challenges. Even when surrounded by politics, corruption, or negativity, the leader's intention must remain clean. Conch. The conch is blown to announce the start of something, in battle, in ceremony, in community gatherings. In leadership, this is the power of communication. To rally your team, to make an announcement that energizes people. Trident. Trishul. The trident controls 3 forces: creation, maintenance, and destruction. In leadership, you must create new ideas, maintain stability, and destroy outdated systems that no longer serve the mission. Chakra. The discus or Sudarshan Chakra is fast, precise, and returns to its owner. In leadership, this is agility, the ability to respond quickly, strike accurately, and then come back to your center. Mace. Gada. This represents authority and justice. The mace is not used lightly, it is used to protect dharma, the right order of things. If you were to draw a perfect leader, and you had to show that they are a visionary, a warrior, a nurturer, a diplomat, a communicator, a problem solver, and a protector, how would you do it in one image? You would give them many hands. The many hands are not excess, they are completeness. We cannot grow extra physical hands, but we can grow our repertoire. If you are a manager, learn public speaking. If you are an artist, learn finance. If you are a teacher, learn digital tools. Each new skill is a new hand in your leadership journey.
Why leaders need multiple hands? Today's world is more connected and more complex than ever before. The days when a leader could rely on one core skill are gone. You might be brilliant at strategy, but if you can't inspire your people, your strategy will die in silence. You might be great with numbers, but if you can't negotiate with a partner, your project will stall. Imagine a single day in the life of a startup founder. Morning, a team meeting about a product launch. Mid-morning, a sudden investor call. Afternoon, a social media crisis about a customer complaint. Evening, a motivational talk to energize employees. Night, reading market reports. All different hands of leadership. One hand holds empathy, listening to an employee's personal crisis. Another holds firmness, making sure deadlines are met. Another holds creativity, brainstorming a marketing idea. Another holds analytical thinking, looking at quarterly results. If you are only one thing, say, aggressive, you will win battles but lose allies. If you are only soft, you will win hearts but lose control. The many hands teach us balance, to be different things at different times, as the situation demands.
Applying the multiple hands concept to daily life. Personal life, the family is your first kingdom, your home is the first place where you practice leadership. And leadership here is not about giving orders, it's about managing harmony. One hand is for earning, ensuring the household has financial security. One hand is for nurturing, listening to your partner, your children, your elders. One hand is for planning, birthdays, family trips, school admissions. One hand is for crisis management, a sudden illness, a broken appliance, an unexpected bill. One hand is for self-care, because if the leader falls, the family stumbles. If you only had the earning hand, you'd be a provider but not a presence. If you only had the nurturing hand, you'd be loving but maybe financially unprepared. The complete picture comes when you blend them. Among friends, multiple hands means knowing when to be the fun person, when to be the wise advisor, when to be the quiet listener, and when to be the one who says, "Hey, you're wrong here." If you are always joking, people won't come to you for serious advice. If you are always serious, people might not call you to celebrate. The art is to switch hands based on the moment.
Colleagues, the work tribe. In a workplace, you may be officially hired for one role, but unofficially, you wear many hats. Motivator, mediator, innovator, crisis solver. Cheerleader, a good colleague knows that sometimes you're the helping hand, sometimes the firm hand, sometimes the hand that lifts someone up when they've failed. In extended family situations, multiple hands means diplomacy. You might be the one who smooths over an argument between uncles, the one who organizes a wedding, the one who ensures that no one feels left out. Leadership here is softer but no less strategic than running a company.
The workplace and professional context, assertive yet polite, one of the most powerful hands in leadership is the ability to be assertive without being abrasive. Assertiveness means you state your needs, protect your boundaries, and uphold your standards. Politeness ensures the other person's dignity remains intact. Durga's sword cuts decisively, but her face remains calm. That's the model. Professionalism as a hand. Professionalism is a combination of reliability, respect, and readiness. In the professional arena, your hands might include delivering on promises, communicating clearly, maintaining composure under stress, respecting cultural differences in a global team. A leader with many hands must also have the invisible hand, humility. Without humility, your hands become claws. Humility allows you to learn from a junior employee, to admit a mistake, and to share credit. In mythology, even Vishnu, preserver of the universe, takes the humble form of a human or animal when needed to restore balance. Decision-making hands. Sometimes in professional life, you need the sword hand, a decisive cut. Other times, you need the lotus hand, waiting for the right moment. Leaders fail when they use the wrong hand at the wrong time. Resource management. If a goddess holds many tools, she must know when to use which. In business, this is resource allocation. Time, money, manpower, technology. The skill is not having them, it's deploying them wisely.
Social media, technology, and the digital world. The new battlefield. In ancient times, the battlefield was Kurukshetra. Today, much of it is online. Social media is where reputations are made and destroyed. The many hands here are content creation, sharing value, engagement, responding to comments, building community, reputation management, addressing criticism without defensiveness, networking, connecting with thought leaders, learning, following trends and technology shifts. If your own hands are limited, technology becomes the additional set. A calendar app keeps you organized, a CRM tool manages client relationships, AI helps with research. The wise leader doesn't fear technology, they use it as an extension of their own capability. Cooperation in the digital age. Online collaboration tools are like linking your hands with others. In mythology, even gods rarely act alone, they cooperate with other deities, sages, or armies. In the digital world, shared documents, virtual meetings, and cloud systems create that many-handed effect across continents.
Indian style of leadership and the many hands metaphor. Indian leadership philosophy, unlike some purely profit-driven models, is deeply dharma-driven, duty before self-interest. The many hands represent not just the skills but the responsibilities a leader carries towards the team, society, and environment. Symbolism in Indian management and Indian corporate culture, you often see rituals like lighting a lamp before starting a project. This is symbolic, the lamp is another hand, the hand of intention and blessing, reminding everyone that work is sacred. Weapons as management tools. The weapons in a leader's hands are not literal, they are strategies. Sword decisive policy changes. Bow long-term planning, you pull back before launching forward. Mace enforcing discipline. Lotus keeping morale high. The balance of Shakti and Shanti. In Indian thought, the same goddess who slays demons also blesses children. This duality is essential for leadership, knowing when to use force and when to use compassion. Too much of one, and you lose Bala.
From local to global, the expanding reach of the many hands being associated locally. In your local community, the multiple hands concept manifests in tangible, everyday leadership. One hand for local relationships, knowing the shopkeepers, the neighbors, the community leaders. One hand for local service volunteering, helping during festivals, supporting a local cause. One hand for local knowledge, being aware of issues that affect your area, water shortages, infrastructure, safety. Here, leadership is intimate, your actions are seen directly, and trust is built over time. Scaling to the national level. When you operate nationally, the number of hands metaphorically increases because the complexity multiplies. Regional cultural understanding. National policy awareness. Managing diverse teams from different states. Balancing central vision with local adaptation. A goddess with many hands does not hold the same weapon in each, she adapts for each battlefield. Going global, the new Kurukshetra. On the global stage, your hands must now hold skills like cross-cultural communication. Global economic awareness. Time zone management for international teams. Sensitivity to global political climates. Understanding technology-driven global collaboration. Here, the many hands include not only your own skills but the combined skills of global partners. Liberal association. Being liberal in association means keeping your hands open, not clenched. It's the ability to welcome collaboration with people whose language, religion, or lifestyle may differ from yours, while still staying rooted in your values. Think of Vishnu's avatars, each appears differently to suit the time and place. This adaptability is a form of liberal association.
Situational leadership, choosing the right hand at the right time. Reading the battlefield, every leader must assess. What is the current problem? Who are the stakeholders? What resources are available? What are the possible risks? Only after reading the situation do you decide which hand to extend. The assertive hand used when deadlines are being missed, policies are being ignored. There is a need to protect your team from unfair demands. This hand is firm, clear, and confident, it does not shake from guilt or fear. The humble hand used when you've made a mistake. You are learning from someone. You want to earn trust. You need to calm tensions. This hand is open-palmed, offering rather than demanding. The strategic hand used when planning a long-term project, entering a competitive market, building alliances, allocating scarce resources. This hand often works quietly, making moves that aren't visible until results appear. The supportive hand used when a colleague is going through personal trouble. A team member needs encouragement. A friend is doubting themselves. This hand reminds people that leadership is not just about achieving targets, it's also about nurturing people. The management system as the many hands systems create additional hands. A leader can't physically have more than two hands, but they can build systems that act like them. Delegation. Your team's hands are your hands. Automation machines and software act as your extended reach. Clear SOPs. Well-trained staff can act without constant instruction. Indian business style. The blend of modern and traditional Indian management often blends Western efficiency with Eastern patience. A Western leader might focus purely on KPIs. An Indian leader might start a meeting with tea and small talk, recognizing relationship building as an important hand in long-term success. Service orientation. In Indian tradition, leadership is often seen as seva, service. This mindset changes your hands from tools of dominance into tools of service. Even in a corporate hierarchy, the leader is there to serve the growth of the team. Crisis management. In times of crisis, the many hands concept shows its real power. A crisis might require the sword hand, cutting losses, the shield hand, protecting key people, assets, the signaling hand, communicating clearly with stakeholders, the healing hand, repairing morale after the storm. Linking mythology to modern tools. The weapons as symbols in the digital age. Trishul, trident, triple focus, strategy, execution, feedback. Sudarshan Chakra, discus, quick, precise, far-reaching action, like a viral social media campaign. Conch shell communication that rallies people. Bow and arrow targeting specific markets or goals. Lotus maintaining calm and grace amidst competition. Social media as a hand of influence. In today's society, having no social media presence is like fighting without a weapon in certain industries. But the key is using this hand wisely, spreading knowledge, building trust, not just chasing likes. Cooperation as a multi-handed team. No matter how many skills you have, you will never match the combined power of a truly cooperative team. A good leader uses their many hands, not just to act, but to connect other people's hands together. The leadership mindset, the mind behind the many hands, knowing which hand to use when leadership is not about having every skill, but about deploying the right skill at the right moment. In negotiations, the hand of patience. In emergencies, the hand of speed and decisiveness. In personal disputes, the hand of empathy. A goddess with many hands doesn't wave them all at once, she chooses deliberately. Emotional intelligence is the invisible hand. Even with many tools and weapons, the divine form often shows a calm face. Why? Because emotional steadiness is the hand that holds all others steady. Without it, even the strongest sword can slip from your grasp. Vision as the guiding hand. If each hand is a different skill, vision is the unseen force telling them all where to point. Vision without hands dreams with no action. Hands without vision random motion without progress. A balanced leader cultivates both. Humility, the hand that keeps you grounded. In Indian philosophy, even the mightiest gods bow to certain values: truth, dharma, compassion. Humility allows you to listen, adapt, and remain approachable, which makes your other hands more effective. Applying the many hands in personal growth, self-management. Before leading others, you must lead yourself. One hand for physical health. One for mental wellness. One for skill building. One for reflection and spiritual growth. Handling friends, family, and colleagues. You don't hold a sword when dealing with a friend who needs comfort, and you don't offer flowers when dealing with workplace misconduct. The multiple hands approach keeps you versatile. Supportive hand for loved ones. Assertive hand for boundaries. Problem-solving hand for colleagues. Celebratory hand for collective wins. Balancing assertiveness and respect. Indian leadership values maryada, dignity. You can be firm without being rude, just as Durga's face remains serene even while fighting demons. This balance earns long-term respect and cooperation. Being a resource magnet, many hands allow you to hold many connections. In modern life, your weapons can be contacts in different industries, access to tools and technologies, knowledge from varied fields. When resources flow through you, people naturally see you as a leader. The many hands in different contexts, technology as an additional set of hands, AI tools, automation of thinking tasks, project management software, extended control over operations, digital communication, faster coordination. Technology multiplies your reach like divine arms in a modern form. Crisis in the workplace. Imagine a corporate crisis, product failure, PR disaster, cash flow problems. The many hands activate. Sword hand cutting waste. Shield hand protecting reputation. Healing hand supporting employees. Communication hand addressing customers. Negotiations across cultures. When working with international partners, offer hand to build trust. Listening hand to understand cultural nuance. Legal hand to protect agreements. Strategy hand to plan long-term. Social movements and public causes. The many hands also apply to activism and social service. Educators hand spreading awareness. Fundraisers hand securing resources. Organizers hand coordinating volunteers. Protectors hand safeguarding the cause.
Series has helped you reflect, grow, or reimagine your leadership. Please leave a rating and share it with your network. If this inspired you, share it with someone who leads with their heart. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow our series, Reinvent Yourself and Conceal the Leader Within. Let's bring back value-based leadership, one story at a time. Tell us in the comments, what's the biggest leadership lesson you learned from this? Thank you for listening to Reinvent Yourself.